Popcast, take one.
How many takes do you think we're going to do? Jesus Christ. Welcome to the New York Times Podcast, your watered-down holy water of weekly cultural review. I'm Jon Caramanica, and I'm the critic.
I am Joe Coscarelli, and I'm the reporter.
And we are talking about the Grammys.
Again, it's what we do. It's what we're made to do.
I do want to say, and maybe this is rude to say in the beginning of a Grammys episode, but every year after the Grammys are done, you and I have some conversation where we're just like, that's the last year we're doing the Grammys.
But now we're having so much fun.
That's true.
In this format.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the big categories. We're going to talk about a few specialist categories, and we're going to talk about who we think should win. It's worth pointing out, we don't want to prognosticate who will win. We might mention it here and there, but the
Grammys wrong anyway.
Here's the thing. Even if I went to school for 20 years to study how to think like a Grammy voter, I would still fail.
The other thing we should note is that Grammy voters are changing. Allegedly. They've been in this push to modernize. I think we've seen it in the nominations the last few years. A lot more zeitgeisty, a lot fewer head scratchers, though ABBA still got a record of the year, song of the year nomination fairly recently.
It got lost in the mail from the 70s.
Yeah,
it just showed up.
There's been a lot less of that, and that's in part because of a push to diversify the membership, make it younger, make it less white.
To acknowledge that rap music is actual music.
Right, and here we are with 3 rap albums nominated for Album of the Year. Kendrick Lamar, most nominated guy across the ceremony. He has 9. And yet there's still a lot of Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars who make up more of the old guard. Gaga has 7 nominations. Bad Bunny has 6 as part of this diversification of the voters effort. Members of the Latin Grammys have now been invited to vote in the regular Grammys, which I think mirrors what's happening with the Oscars, in which a huge push of foreign voters have made international film a bigger player in the main categories. We'll see what happens here. Obviously, Bad Bunny, sort of the headline of the night. Kendrick Lamar accepted, because the very next week, like Kendrick did last year, Bad Bunny will be performing at the Super Bowl.
Not to get out in front, but my hope, as far as who's going to have a big night, I do think it's Bad Bunny's year in the broadest sense. The Kendrick album in the macro, this is a bit of a lesser Kendrick album, I think. So, and
it was Kendrick's year last
year,
which ended at the Super Bowl.
Yes,
in February.
Did it? Right. We'll get to that. Which categories are we going to talk about?
So we're going to do the big 4. We're going to do Best New Artist, Song and Record of the Year, and Album of the Year. And we are also going to talk about a few categories that caught our eye in the rap space, one in the alternative space, and one in the country space.
Also, this was a special request from our producer, Sophie. Will you explain why Taylor Swift is not going to be discussed in this episode?
Yes, that's actually a great question. Thank you, Sophie. These awards cover albums that came out between August 31st of 2024 and August 30th of 2025.
Everybody check when you paid for The Life of a Showgirl on iTunes. Everybody check.
Yes, so that means any albums that came out in the fall, Taylor Swift's Life of a Showgirl, Rosalia's Lux, a couple other big end-of-year things I'm sure I'm forgetting, will be part of next year's nominations and awards.
Which we will definitely be here to cover.
You're calling it now? You're just giving in?
I'm relenting.
All right, let's do it. New formats, new mediums. Here we are. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the little like and subscribe button. Leave a comment about who you think should win.
What do we got first?
All right, let's jump right in with Best New Artist. The nominees in this pretty stacked category.
Maybe one of the best classes of Best New Artist nominees we've seen in years.
This has Olivia Dean, the British soul and R&B singer, Cat's Eye, the multinational K-pop supergroup from reality television.
Yes.
The Marias, a sort of alt-pop band that's been kicking around for a while, but hit it big with a TikTok record we talked about last year. Addison Rae, friend of the show.
Is she on the wall? Or
Yeah, she's right behind your head with her little butterfly prop. TikTok dancer turned pop star Addison Rae. Pop star? We calling her a pop star?
Are you not? You can leave if you're not.
Good. All right, we'll get there. Somber, New York City's one-man rock revivalist.
I actually thought you were going to say
not Cameron Winter.
I actually thought you were going to say TikTok dancer turned pop star Somber. Actually, is what I thought you were going to say.
There we go.
Yeah.
Leon Thomas, R&B singer.
A dog. I'm a dog. I'm a mutt.
Child actor turned
Everybody turned
Chris
something.
Brown
Everybody turned
impersonator.
Everybody
Leon Thomas. Yeah.
Everybody turned something.
Does he dance? Does he really dance?
Not in my field of vision.
Alex Warren, not British Christian music revivalist. Love is Blind live performer Alex Warren.
Dragger of Jon Caramanica,
Yes.
Alex Warren.
This song is fearfully tacky.
But also, salute to you.
Yeah, Ordinary. We know it. We'll probably see it at the show. I'll be surprised if we don't. Did we see it at the show last year? Maybe they'll just play it at every Grammys from now on.
Do you think if they do it at the show, they are going to invite the entire cast of Love is Blind to be on stage to watch him perform it so they can all have a reunion moment?
Each of them has to duet with their ex. Okay. And Lola Young.
Friend of Joe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone I covered a lot last year. British alt soul singer.
Emotionally intense.
Yeah.
and
Very,
adept.
an emotionally tense singer and person. We'll talk about it. John, who should win Best New Artist?
There's only one answer to this. And it's not Cat's Eye. As much as I love Cat's Eye. We listened to Gabriella at the beginning of this episode. A great song from a great band that I think is going to go on to make a lot of other great songs. It's obviously Addison Rae. I just don't see competition other than Addison here. It's a fully formed pop revival. It's a novel idea about what a contemporary pop girl, quote unquote, should be doing. I think Addison made a thoughtful album, an album that is well constructed, has a refreshing idea about what the sonics of a contemporary pop album should sound like. It has sensual elements. It has even a little bit of comedic elements. I think it's a fully formed idea, and there's almost no seams in it. You don't really see the work, even though from our conversation with her and also reading interviews she's given elsewhere, it's clear that there's a lot of labor that went into the creation of this.
One thing I really like about this as a debut pop album is that it's made by a small team.
Yeah.
It's Addison Rae and producers Luca and Elvira.
Yeah.
And they just locked in and made the whole thing. And
Yeah.
so it's quite cohesive in a time where that's not really in vogue.
And one thing that hadn't really come up in the press is like, were they left to their own devices because people didn't have high expectations? And they said, well, let's just see what they come up with. And then they obviously came up with something good that also in turn resonated. But I wonder if somewhere back in the decision-making process,
It was just like, let them have their
like
fun.
send her sweet and see
Sure.
what happens.
Sure. If Addison is going to perform at the Grammys, what song would you like to see her play?
I mean, it has to be Diet Pepsi. I think that is the one that will be most broadly resonant to a Grammy viewer audience. What do you think?
Yeah, I would like to see Fame as a Gun on stage at the Grammys. Addison Rae, vocally, can she hold that stage? I hope we'll see.
What I will say is there are great American performers who have had subpar Grammy singing performances.
It's true. Taylor Swift,
Taylor
very famously.
Swift.
I pointed out my flaws again as if I don't already see them.
Taylor Swift doing fine. Who do you think should win this category?
I'm going Lola Young. I think she both fits in the Grammys mold. The last couple winners in this category, I think, are telling, but also interesting. Chappell Roan won last year. Victoria Monet, songwriter and R&B
Classicist.
singer, won in 2024. And then Samara Joy the
A
year
literal
before that.
classicist.
I think Lola is like just enough TikTok and just enough.
Sort of the intersection of all those people.
I agree.
That's actually
I agree.
interesting.
And I think, Messy, her breakout hit, turned out to be kind of a sturdy one. We'll continue hearing it. It's not a novelty. It didn't rot really quickly in the way that some people's breakout social media record turned radio record can do. And then she made this album, I'm Only Fucking Myself, which I think is really extreme. It has a lot of different styles, a lot of weird instrumentation, some black humor. It's about addiction and mental illness and covering those things up with Empty Sex.
Get away, far from here.
I spent a lot of time, as we alluded to, with Lola in Europe last year. In the lead up to this album, she revealed a lot of herself and her demons to me. I found it quite moving. And then she took some time off. This album came out.
Still, I think, taking time
Yeah,
off,
and she came out and said, I can't handle this right now. I'm going to go away for a while, canceled the tour. I think it could be like a really triumphant moment to see her take this award. I don't know if she will, but I think when the Grammys are looking to sort of anoint somebody who could stick around for a while, I think Lola has, a good solid foundation and would be cool to see it come full circle like this. I think like you can relate to this when you spend a lot of time thinking and talking to someone for a piece. I've said this on the show before, but it can go in one of two directions. Either you like never want to think or hear or talk about that person again, or it sort of it deepens your understanding and appreciation of them, you know? And I can say for Lola, definitely the latter for me. So that's my case. Lola Young, Best New Artist. But it's going to be Olivia Dean.
I was literally going to say Olivia Dean's going to win.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You want to say anything about Olivia Dean?
Shout out Olivia Dean. Like, extremely refined performances.
Come be the man I need. Tell me you got something to give. I want it.
Again, Victoria Monet, Samara Joy, two different versions in the soul and soul into jazz vocal traditions. This is obviously a style of music that plays very well to Grammy voters or historical Grammy voters. It's hard to argue with Olivia Dean's level of expertise. And I think that style of expertise, especially for a young artist, tends to resonate here. I don't know that it's the most exciting option available, but it is, I think, the one that's most likely to connect to a voter who's been voting for 20 years.
All right, John, let's jump into Best Rap Song.
A little friskier.
Yeah, but also kind of a stacked category.
Yeah.
The nominees here are Anxiety by Doechii, which is a song from many, many years ago.
Yeah, it was the 2012.
That I guess must have been re-recorded in part to make it eligible for all of these categories.
Or is it one of those things where it was like released on SoundCloud, which nobody considers a real release?
No, I think there was some reporting that it had to be at least in some part new. Yeah. Okay, we have Birds Don't Sing by Clips featuring John Legend and Voices of Fire. We have Sticky by Tyler, the Creator, featuring Glorilla, Sexy Red, and Lil Wayne. We have TGIF by Glorilla herself, a solo artist. And TV Off, the Kendrick Lamar song from GNX with
Lefty Gunplay,
a little Los Angeles rapper called Lefty Gunplay, who is nominated, I just want to underscore, for a Grammy Award.
For a Grammy Award for 4 bars?
4 cool bars.
Yeah, they're great bars, but 4 bars.
Yeah. Who should win in this category?
Who do you think I think should win this category?
I think you're going to say Clips. No?
Glorilla.
Okay. All right.
TGIF. What a great song. So funny, so pugnacious, so charming.
7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no, and no nigga ain't got me.
A return to form for an artist who has a great form.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that Glorilla is actually nominated twice here. And I think the fact that Glorilla can be effective in the context of a Tyler, the Creator song, admittedly a wacky Tyler, the Creator song, but the fact that she can be effective in that context and also just purely on her own, testament to how durable and exciting what she does is. I don't know. It's hard not to love TGIF. Obviously, you hear it in a TikTok context and you're like, okay, what a great soundtrack. Then you hear it on the radio. And you're like, this sounds amazing. And then you hear it outside at a club and you're just like, I want to fight someone. It solves a lot of problems. I also think in a micro era, which is say the last few years of sort of ascendant female rappers, I kind of think that Glorilla weirdly doesn't get enough credit. I think there are people who like draw more attention to themselves, but I think Glorilla is just sort of like head down doing the work. And this song is incredible.
And this award, it should be noted, does not go to Glorillaz. This award goes to Kendrick Lamar. This award goes to Killer Mike.
Oh, you mean in the
Andre
abstract?
3000.
Yes. No, of course.
Traditionally.
They're like, and not to say Glorilla is not a lyricist, but it's just not how the Academy has historically thought of rap.
It's a real
lyricism.
rap category.
Yes.
Kendrick won.
Derogatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendrick won 2 of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to swerve. I think Kendrick Lamar and Lefty Gunplay should win Best Rap Song at the Grammys.
I don't even know you anymore.
It's
just so wild.
In this lineup,
Wild.
I'm like,
It's wild.
TV Off, I think, is.
Tio's gonna win.
It's
gonna win.
Anxiety's going to win. I think Anxiety's
All
going
right,
to win.
fine. Say what. Make your case.
TV Off is.
You just want to see Lefty Gunplay on stage.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It transcends the Kendrick Lamar context in a way that I like. I like hits. I like when Kendrick Lamar makes hits. We'll talk about Luther later. Yeah. I prefer it to the Heart Part 5, say.
As do
which
I.
says more about me than it does
No.
about anything else. But I just think it's beat knocks. Like, it's a really fun song. I just think it's a great rap song. Let's talk about country music.
Love to do it. Some people love to see it. Not as many as we would think, but some people love to see it.
Best country solo performance is the one we zeroed in on,
Yeah.
I think, because it has the most telling array about
Those are good range.
this moment in the genre.
Yeah.
The nominees here are Nose on the Grindstone by Tyler Childers, Good News by Shabuzi, Bad as I Used to Be from F1 the Movie, which it says in the nomination, Chris Stapleton.
Is that in the artist or in the title?
I don't know. Both, actually. You're
I don't know
contractually obligated
what kind
to
of
say
deal did Chris
F1 the Movie.
In this, I
The
mean,
hook of the song is actually, this is from F1 the Movie.
it's like it's like a vocal tag. Chris Stapleton, whatever contract Chris Stapleton had to sign
to
like
give
duet
Brad Pitt and his Grammy.
duet with F1 the movie.
Yeah. I actually love F1 the movie. I Never Lie by Zach Top and Somewhere Over Laredo by Lainey Wilson. John, what should win Best Country Solo Performance at the Grammy Awards?
Okay, so to your point, a lot happening here.
Yeah.
Country still in an extreme dearth of female stars. Lainey Wilson's had a great couple of years. Chris Stapleton, I mean, you could just call this the Chris Stapleton Award. Like, it's just Chris Stapleton tends to win things like this. It's great to see Tyler nominated in this kind of bigger category as opposed to like an American roots music category. It's great to see Shabuzi nominated, even though I would say lesser Shabuzi song. This is not the good Shabuzi song. All of which is to say Zach Top should win. Zach Top's I Never Lie, one of my favorite songs of the last couple of years.
Wish I could say I miss you. Oh, but you know I never lie.
This is someone who does incredibly precise nostalgia for the early to mid 90s country music. He does it in the songwriting. He does it in guitar style. He does it in the shirts, hats, pants, and boots. I hear this song. I hear someone who is incredibly deferential to country music tradition, but also has true. Is it weird to say he has true sass?
No, I like that
he has
application of the term.
Yeah, he has true sass,
Yeah.
and he delivers it. It's not even like he's winking. It's like he's winking to let you know he's not winking. He's like, I'm about this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really about this life.
Sure.
So anyway, of these songs, of which I think 3 are good, I think the one is Zach Top's I Never Lie. I also think it'd be a really good statement in the broader sense of here's a younger star who is trying a novel approach that you're starting to see trickle up to more established stars. More established stars, we're not referencing the 90s that heavily before this. And I feel like you're starting to see that happen more now.
I will say Zach Top, another person who I'd love to see on stage at the Grammys.
Hell
We're
yeah.
recording this before all the performances have been announced.
Yes.
So I'm hoping he's in the mix somewhere, even if it's part of like an all-star
Those
jam.
jeans are going to be so tight. They're so crisp and so tight. You couldn't even imagine. Anyway, who do you think should win this category?
I'm going Nose on the Grindstone.
Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pill.
Great song.
Yeah, it's undeniable. He's blending so many styles. He's writing his ass off. The storytelling on this album, this is from Snipe Hunter, the, psychedelic Tyler Childers album from last year. I just think it's a relatively left field pick in this category. And I think that he is doing the most out of these people to push the boundaries of the genre, which is something that I think has been top of mind, like with the Cowboy Carter year last year at the Grammys. And I think this would be something that aligns with that without it seeming too obviously aligned with this idea of breadth and experimentation in country.
I was joking about Chris Stapleton being a sort of default winner of things like this. And I think the reason that is because I think Chris Stapleton, who is sort of one of the most robust and exceptional singers in Nashville, I think that the kind of country music that he makes, people who vote in the country categories, they think it flatters them, even if they don't make that kind of country music. It flatters them to support that kind of country music. And it'll be interesting to see if there's any kind of spiritual or scene baton passing from a Stapleton figure or Stapleton-esque figure to someone like Tyler, who represents a different traditionalist mode, but also has some radicalism poking through all that. But you could argue that that's, I don't want to say it's a conservative pick, but it is a historically minded pick.
And I think that his blend of those two things, are just what makes him most interesting. And I think that goes for a lot of these nominees.
Yeah,
and
Laney,
especially
for
the ones
sure.
that I'm drawn to across, and in this category for sure, but also across the nominations that we're talking about today.
Yeah, I mean, the
this
Lainey Wilson
blend of classicism and modernism.
The Zach Top, obviously, Lainey Wilson song. If George Strait sang that song, you'd be like totally fine, like no problem, great.
All right, let's jump into categories that we will combine because they're basically the same.
Heavy
but it's
hitters,
actually
heavy
categories.
hitters.
There you go. That's your Popcast
Sure,
tag.
we got.
Yeah.
Can we start making tags for me? Heavy hitters, heavy hitters.
So, song and record of the year, song for the songwriters, the composition of the song, record for the performers, the producers, for the recording of the song. These categories often overlap, but not always this much.
Yes.
This year, we have 7 of the same songs in this category with only one swap. So, the ones that are nominated for both song and record of the year are Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, Anxiety by Doechii, APT by Bruno Mars and Rosé, the title track from the Bad Bunny album, DTMF, Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, Man-Child by Sabrina Carpenter, and Wildflower by Billie Eilish, which is from Hit Me Hard and Soft, the Billie Eilish album that was nominated for Grammys last year.
The contortions
But
of these people.
I guess has been released as a single subsequently, which makes it eligible for the following year's Grammys.
All I want to say is when Popcast starts winning whatever the awards that podcasts are given, we're going to
get the Golden Globes.
Yeah, like
we're gonna
yes,
get up there.
absolutely. But
beat
like,
Amy Poehler.
we're going to be nominating episodes from 4 years ago. We're just going to add an outro on and just be like, "It's the one."
Yeah, like
It's
go
this.
back and watch that Lil Jon interview.
It was incredible.
Underrated.
Underrated, truly.
Yeah!
Okay.
Run
and
me my
then-
Webby.
Yes. And then the final nominee in song is Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. And the final nominee in record is The Subway by Chappell Roan. John, what should win song and record of the year? And is your pick different for each category?
They are different.
Okay, me too.
I think I might surprise you for song. Should we start with song?
Yeah.
I think I might surprise you. I think it's Man-Child.
Okay.
Yeah, look at your face.
I know, because
Can
last
you
year I
run-
was like,
can we run?
give Sabrina all the Grammys.
Yeah. Can we run Joe's face like as a GIF? Okay, great.
You've come around on Man-Child.
To me, as I was listening to all these songs by the metric of this category, which is again, these are false inventions. People don't always vote as seriously as they say they are. I enjoyed this song's structure. I enjoyed its combination of genres. I enjoyed its cleverness, its sense of humor, and also its concision.
It is really tight for a
Yes.
song that feels fairly loose.
Yes. And so when I started holding up it against other songs by those measurements, I said, okay, this achieves a lot in 3 minutes or whatever it is. And other songs that are structured similarly, but maybe don't have the depth, they don't have the wit. I just said, in this pile, to me, this is the one that does the most with the fewest tools.
I agree with everything you said. I picked Man-Child for record of the year.
Okay.
Because I love the production. I
Yeah.
think this is Jack Antonoff doing what he's really best at, which is adding all these little details and textures and bespoke instrumentation to what is ultimately down the middle pop music.
I thought you were saying what he's best at is not coming on Popcast.
Yeah, Jack, we see you. Come on, Popcast. I just love how this song sounds. I think her vocal performance is great. The little flutter she does in the chorus. She's always going up, at least at the best moments of this album. Man-Child, I think the highlight of Man's Best Friend, which to me was not as good as Short and Sweet, but along with Go-Go Juice, two of my favorite pop songs from last year. I picked that for record.
What'd you pick for song?
Song Debí tirar más fotos by Bad Bunny.
My record of the year.
Okay, so we just inverted. All right.
Does this just prove that neither of us understand the Grammy categories? Like, this is hopeless.
Okay,
it's
here's what I'll say.
hopeless.
I think I love how this song is written because it is at once a totally universal, beautiful breakup song and also extremely specific. Like, I love the verse where he just like takes a second to name a bunch of his friends in a non-rhyming sort of like rambling order. He's like, yeah, you left me. I'm just here spending time with my guys. And then he just names a bunch of them.
I mean, he's like, I'm with Rasha, I'm with A-Raw.
Yeah, but
like
for a song that it is also can be nominated for Song and Record of the Year at the Grammys. I think, the blend of instrumentation all across this album, but on this title track, I just think it's really beautiful. It's funny.
Yes.
It's both plaintive and sad and playful.
And it's also robust and rich and musically dynamic, which is why I picked it for Record of the Year. Because when I listen to this, like, let's say if we're holding Man-Child up against this, I agree with you about what Jack does on Man-Child. But again, there's something where there is an outer boundary on Man-Child and it goes right up to the outer boundary and fills the entire space.
It still has to be on the radio.
This is it's loose. Yeah. It's a little bit ragged. It's ambitious. It's communal. You know what I'm saying? It's doing a lot. It's bringing a lot to the table, and it's also an invitation. When you start getting to those chant-along sections, it essentially extends the song beyond the performer, beyond the writer, beyond the producer, out into the crowd, out to the listener. It does a tremendous amount. This album, this Bad Bunny album, obviously is very special in a lot of ways. And it's special because it's historically minded and because of who it reaches back to include in a contemporary music narrative. But what this song specifically does is it takes that history and walks it out to the people.
I also almost picked it for Record, if only for the gang vocals at the end, which I think are just such a special moment deep into this album. It could win both. Look, it's in my top 2 for both Song and Record of the Year.
Yeah. Before we move on to our next category, I do want to talk about Golden for a second. I, along with many others, have been maybe shocked at the durability of this song. When you watch K-Pop Demon Hunters, immediately you're like, this is a great song. Is it K-Pop?
Right.
I'm not so sure.
Korean pop music.
It is philosophically, I'm not sure it is, but like we can have that conversation over a 2-hour episode at some other point. It's incredibly well, again, we keep talking about structure in song. It's incredibly well structured, and I think is a reflection of K-pop's power, not necessarily as a musical innovation site. This is something I talked about in my year-end essay back in December, but people feel entry points into K-pop now to the point where something like this can be advertised as K-pop, even though it's not exactly that, and have this kind of length, success, durability, and so on.
I totally agree. I think, if anything, K-Pop Demon Hunters is underrepresented here. We talked about this when the nominations came out. It's crazy to me that Golden is not in Record of the Year, along with many other categories. I would have expected to see K-Pop Demon Hunters in Album of the Year also for the soundtrack. I think its win at the Golden Globes recently probably had the Grammys bosses like kicking themselves. It was a great moment at the ceremony to see this journeywoman songwriter up there sort of saying, I persisted, and here I am with one of the biggest songs of the year.
I worked tirelessly for 10 years to fulfill one dream.
Totally could see this winning in this major category because in part it's not represented in
Elsewhere.
a bunch of the other categories. Bruno Mars could still win this. Same thing with Lady Gaga, like Abracadabra, classic Gaga in a way that.
So I've heard.
Incredible performance at the VMAs, which they like piped in from her Madison Square Garden residency. You know, you can never count out Gaga and Bruno. They've won awards.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say about these categories and all of these big three categories: Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, won Song and Record of the Year last year. Luther is huge. Luther is like both a Kendrick Lamar song and a big radio hit.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it holds together. I don't really know what the point of it is other than to have a nice duet for SZA and Kendrick on the big tour that they just did. I love the "If It Was Up to Me" little hook in this song.
Yep.
If it was up to me, I wouldn't give it nobody's no sympathy.
But the rest of it, I could take or leave.
Yep.
But will I be surprised if Kendrick Lamar wins a ton
Either
of
of
Grammys?
these categories. Yep.
No.
No.
And will I be surprised if Kendrick Lamar shows up to win a bunch of these Grammys? Yes. I feel like last year was not embarrassing for him, but not his default state. Like that's not his native habitat. He's not that kind of artist, I don't think, to be collecting all these trophies. He loves winning, don't get me wrong. But
send him to the house.
Yeah, I could just see him taking this year off, even though he could crush in all these categories. We'll see.
But then what about Lefty Gunplay?
Lefty Gunplay should accept all of the awards that GNX wins.
Great idea.
All right, our next category, this is Best Alternative Music Album. Sable Fable by Bon Iver. Songs of a Lost World by The Cure. Don't Tap the Glass, the other Tyler, the Creator album from last year.
Yes.
Moisturizer by Wet Leg.
If you say so.
And Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party by Haley Williams. I hope people will notice the pattern. You come on Popcast, you might get nominated for a Grammy. Two Popcast guests from last year on this list. We've talked about some others along the way. Go check out those interviews.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nobody but Bon Iver.
It's Bon Iver.
It's got to be Bon Iver.
I already did my preaching about this album in our end of year episode. This is an album that just knocked me out. I love this album. I didn't think he had another late career masterpiece in him. He does.
But here's my thing.
He does and he did.
But
and
here's
he
my
will.
thing about Justin Vernon.
Never count him out.
Never. Sure. But every Justin Vernon album, going back to the first one, or every Bon Iver album, I should say, they're all late career masterpieces.
Even with their early career.
Yes, they're late career masterpieces. This is a person who pivoted to making music in his, I guess, late 20s or early 30s. That is the sort of music that one makes in their 50s and 60s, and people laud you for. Yeah. And he just skipped.
An old soul.
Yeah, he skipped all the BS and got right to it. And said, not only am I going to make that kind of music, I'm going to make it modern. I'm going to make it unusual. I'm going to make it provocative. I'm going to make it sonically frictive. I'm going to write songs with words that don't exist in any language on earth. It's hard to argue with Bon Iver. There's other stuff in this category that's obviously good, but I truly do think Bon Iver had the best album in this category and one of the best albums of the year.
Holocene was nominated for Record of the Year. Like he's kind of a Grammys guy, even though he's not a Grammys guy, much like Kendrick Lamar.
Not exactly. not much like, but anyway, well, that's a separate thing. Album of the year.
Let's run it down. This is Debí Tirar Más Fotos by Bad Bunny.
Yes.
Swag, Justin Bieber. Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter. Let God Sort 'Em Out, the Clips album. Mayhem by Lady Gaga. GNX by Kendrick Lamar. Mutt by Leon Thomas. And Chromacopia, the Tyler, the Creator album that is not the alternative Tyler, the Creator album.
Again, fake distinctions being made here in order to populate different categories. It is what it is.
Who should win Album of the Year at the Grammys in 2026?
This was not easy.
Was it hard for you?
Yes, it was. And it was hard for me largely because the answer that I thought was the obvious and correct answer, as I did more and more listening and digging back, I found myself moving away from. And where I moved to and really have always lived is Swag by Justin Bieber.
Okay.
Way you got me all in my head. Think I'd rather you in my bed.
I was shocked at how well this album holds up.
Yeah.
Sometimes that you get excited when an album comes out by an artist that you know is capable of a certain level of artistry.
Sure.
And it seems to match your expectation, but then maybe you go back to it 3 or 6 months later and you're like, I kind of like over-indexed that a tiny bit. That did not happen here. If anything, I was more impressed listening to this 2 weeks ago or a week ago in prep for this episode. I was more impressed by the second half of the album than I was when I was first listening to the album when it came out.
And it's a long album. It's a lot to take in.
No, it's like 99 songs.
And
like,
then
it's
there's the sequel, obviously.
Yeah, it's unbelievably long. I was surprised about how tonally consistent it was, how good the songwriting was, the instrumentation. One of the things I think Justin Bieber has struggled with in his career are making hits that don't cleanly align with what his natural gift set is, which is not to invalidate those hits, and it's not to say that the gifts aren't worthy of their own hits. It's just there's always been a tiny bit of a disconnect, and we've talked about it a bunch on the show, and I've written about it a bunch over the years. Here, for the first time, really, except, the Journal's exception, but you really hear songwriting, tenor, tone, affect, mood, like all of those things lining up together. And it holds. As you said, it's a long album, 20 some odd songs. It holds. And there are other incredible albums. Like obviously the Bad Bunny album is the album I'm referring to when I say I thought that's where I was naturally going to land. And one thing that you can say about this album is it's also long, but it is less consistent.
I still picked it. To me, it's still Bad Bunny. I also went back and forth between Swag and DTMF.
Yep.
I think these are both really interesting albums at interesting points. I did not consider Chromacopia. Someday there will be a Tyler the Creator album that deserves
album of the year.
Album of the year.
Yes.
I kind of believe that.
I do too. I don't think it's this one.
I agree. Look, the Bad Bunny album, I had a similar experience with. I was like, oh, this isn't as thorough. This isn't as innovative as I remember.
Yeah.
Because there is some filler.
Yeah.
The highs are just so high. I don't think album of the year means or should mean most consistent album, perfect album. I think it's the one that defined the year in music, moves the needle, tries something new, and yet speaks to all kinds of people, all kinds of musicians in particular.
It also does a thing that I think albums that win this category, especially in the 90s and 2000s, tend to do, which is sort of force a young performer into an older mode. And obviously, I don't think Bad Bunny's doing it. We talked about this even with Beyonce, right? I don't think Bad Bunny is like, I'm going to make an album of traditional music and that's going to win Grammy voters. Like, I think that
definitely not.
No.
Not his vibe.
But I do think it's a recognizable form.
Yes.
And I do think that that might activate a certain set of Grammy voters who are like, I know he was making that kind of reggaeton or Latin trap that I didn't totally understand, but I really mess with this older music. Now, again, that's not us. It's not how we think of it. I do think that kind of embrace of old via new is a classic Grammy winner trope, and I would not be surprised if it gets activated here for Bad Bunny.
And I think it applies to the Kendrick Lamar album, GNX. I think it applies to the Clips album.
Yes, the Clips album more than the Clips album more than the Kendrick album, unless the old via new that you're referring to from Kendrick is like King T.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, great. If you're a Grammy voter and you know who King T is, send me a DM. Send us an email at popcast@nytimes.com.
But no, we talk about Kendrick as classicist, but this is him dabbling in more modern West Coast styles. I think that there is still some of that. Also, Lady Gaga. Look, Mayhem is old Lady Gaga, new Lady Gaga.
It is referencing old Lady Gaga. It's not referencing an old genre. It's referencing the old genre is old Lady Gaga.
Which is a genre. But no, look, Nueva York, Café con Ron, like the title track, as discussed, Vueltita, like Bad Bunny nominated before for Un Verano Sin Ti, which I think is probably still his masterpiece up to this moment. But again, I think that this has enough dynamics to be a deserved representative of last year in music.
I won't be upset if he wins. To me, it could have gone either way. When I was listening back to it, I was kind of like, I feel like we're veering in some directions. And I'm probably the last guy in the critical community that's like, coherence of an album makes, that's important. Like, I don't really care about that. But in this framework, kind of like, okay, there is a little bit of, these things could have been bonus tracks. Like, we could have like thinned it out a touch.
But will the Grammys miss out on the opportunity to have this sort of boom,
Leon
boom
Thomas moment? No.
You really stopped me. Froze me. I can't believe you said that. No. The Grammy Super Bowl moment that Kendrick had last year, I think good for both shows, good for both networks.
For sure.
Bad Bunny, he had this giant tour, all around the world.
Do you think
there's some political valence to voting for him?
Do you think there's any chance he doesn't show up to the Grammys?
Just goes to the Super Bowl? No. This is too big, and this moment could be too big to pass up on for him.
Yes. Okay.
Especially going into the biggest performance of his life.
Sure.
But yeah, just, we're in a time of immigration debate and more than debate. I think temperatures are really high.
Yep.
I think people could see voting for an album like this as
political statement,
a moral choice. And the music is really good. Cowboy Carter won last year. Again, political statement, moral statement, strong album. I think Bad Bunny, if not the favorite, is probably the second favorite. I kind of still think Kendrick's going to win.
I also think Kendrick's going to win. Again, I feel like so churlish. Being like, I'm upset. It's like,
no, it's cool.
I'm truly old enough to remember when like rap albums were not considered musically sufficient to be nominated in the big four categories.
Yep.
So it's like, if Kendrick wins, like phenomenal, like great. I do not think GNX is better than Debbie Terraro Mas Fotos. I do not think it's better than Swag. I apologize.
We'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah.
Before we go out, John, we'd be remiss if we did not have a snack.
I literally have eaten so little today.
I have eaten nothing.
Okay.
In fact, I had an upset stomach, but I do it for the pod. I do it for YouTube. Like and subscribe to Popcast.
Yes.
We have a new teammate.
Yes.
Producer Kayla Presti is here. We've given her the important duty of the important troll.
The most important part of her job today. And perhaps this week.
Picking the snacks. So she's about to throw me something twisted, I think.
I literally can't believe you picked this.
She did it.
I cannot believe you picked this.
All right, this is going to be rough. I'm actually sweating in anticipation of this.
This is so. Do you not like us?
She likes YouTube content. That's what she likes. She likes subscribers. This is Parga's hot mystery mix of chili coated gummies, which comes in an opaque gold bag. This looks like it has THC in it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, though I did buy it in Los Angeles. But it's from Texas.
I really, that has been on the pantry shelf for months now. And every time someone comes in to pick a snack, I do a silent prayer that they will not pick this. And then it be your own people.
Yeah, Kate
truly be your own people.
Kate just did it. While we eat a snack, John, I think we should talk about the new Grammys category this year.
Best album cover?
For album cover. There's always like a packaging category.
Yes.
Which like increasingly I don't think albums have packaging.
Well, or alternately it's coming back around, to physical media. But yes, best album cover, which...
Sorry, I can't open this. Someone have scissors. Don't throw them.
Please, yes. We want to make it out of this taping. Look, I think this is a silly category, but I also think at the same time, they could have done this 30 years ago. Album covers have been good for a really long time, or
They
bad.
should do past album cover. I think that like they could just do one a year,
Like the Pitchfork Sunday Review.
Exactly.
Just like be like the best album cover of 1984 was.
That'd be amazing. Why
Honestly,
not?
great social content. Free idea. You're
For the
welcome to have
Grammys.
it.
Yeah. Okay. The nominees here before we eat some of these spicy
I am
gummies.
so stressed right now.
The Chromacopia cover, Tyler the Creator, the Crux, the Joe cover. Shout out to Joe, big hit
Joe.
from Stranger Things.
From 3 years ago.
From 3 years ago. He could be nominated for a Grammy next year, like Anxiety by Doechii. The Bad Bunny cover of the plastic chairs. Nice photo. A lot of nice photos in this mix. Glory, this is the Perfume Genius cover. Also a sort of was an abstract photo. And Moisturizer by Wet Leg.
Big episode for Moisturizer by Wet Leg, mentioned twice on one episode of Popcast.
So I got a gummy
Can I
worm
leave?
here.
Can I leave? No, I'm being serious.
I think this is going to be fine. This is like
How does it smell?
tagine, right? You've had like tagine.
How's it smell?
Not strong. Not strong. But it is like assorted gummies. It's like, it is a mystery mix. There's like a regular gummy worm. There's like a sour gummy worm. I see like a gummy bear shape, but they're all like moist, wet with chili coating. I've eaten these sort of like tagine flavored gummies before, but not the mystery mix. I don't think this is going to be, I think you're building it up. I think you're putting it on a pedestal.
If I'm reserving the right, human resources, if you're watching, to call in sick to work tomorrow.
I like that Bad Bunny is nominated as the art director of his album cover. I wonder if he like took it on his iPhone or something. I don't know if there's a credited photographer for this, but it's the best of these album covers. I'm just gonna say it before I eat this.
You think it
gummy
should
worm.
win?
I do. I think it should win. They're all nice.
I know it's gonna sound weird, but like I think Chromacopia should win.
Can you explain the reference to me? Is it just like fake Diane Arbus?
Can I just say something? I'm heavily into German expressionism.
Heavily inspired by German expressionism.
Is that what's going on here? Is this German expressionism? I think it could be.
You know what's German expressionism?
These gummies. All right, cheers.
Turn the cameras away from me.
They're so good. So good.
Oh,
10 out of 10. It's perfect.
bro.
John, you ever do a mocktail? I didn't think so. You ever had a michelada?
Stop talking. Stop talking. Just stop. Whatever you're trying to do here, don't do it.
You get a drink, like a savory drink.
I'm being serious. Don't talk.
There's like memes about like licking the whole glass because like the rim is the best part. This is all the rim of a savory cocktail, which is like, who could argue with that? Plus a gummy bear.
All right.
So good. It's
so
10
here's
out of
my
10.
take.
I love it.
It's not as bad heat-wise as I expected it to be, but the spice mix, the
so good. I'm gonna eat all of these. I really do love it. I'm not rubbing it in.
I'm glad that's over.
No, you got to rank it.
That's a happy thing for you. Genuinely, that's a happy thing
I would
for you.
eat the whole bag
Why?
because I love both spice and gummy. So how could you go wrong slamming them together?
It's like in the back of my neck.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Flavor. Welcome to Flavor Town, John.
I can acknowledge that it is a good snack.
Yeah. Thank you.
I never want to see it again.
That's
I
why
will
they
say-
make the bag opaque.
I'll give it a 3.5
Okay.
because I accept its.
You respect it.
I accept its expertise. I do not wish to engage. It's much like Jacob Collier. I respect.
Speaking of the Grammys, bringing it all back around.
I respect its expertise, but I do not wish to proactively engage with it.
Fair enough.
What do you give it?
I already said it's a 10.
I'm sorry.
I love it.
I was too busy having spice go to my ear canals to really know what that was. Can you do the outro? Because I feel like I look insane right now.
That's our show. Every podcast ever is at nytimes.com/popcast. Like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on your podcast app, go to YouTube, type in Popcast, like and subscribe. We'll be back next week.
Put your headphones on. Guess I gotta accept the pain. Need a cigarette to make me feel better. Every good thing comes my way, so I still get told up.
Can I ask you a question? When you say credits in link in bio, what do you mean by that? Are you being literal?
No, it's something
because I don't think that there are credits in the link in the bio.
It's something I said as a mistake once that I thought sounded funny.
So it's just like a blah blah blah. Like you'll find the credits somewhere.
Yeah.
I think about it often, but I have never asked you.
No, it's like literally just a thing.
I'm like, I don't think there's a link in any of the bios.